Like, I would want that.
That's exactly right. Is that us retirement?
That's bad.
So nine, but I still gave you full price for insurance. Because I put away my sandwich on other stuff. See how you are? Yeah. Yeah, you guys look for all the employees. I'll tell you why that ended. Letter of agreement.
Yeah.
You're in the sentence.
Yeah, the other one. Yeah, it's good.
I threw that back on. I said, you know, I'm older and keep it like it now. The good old days. Why is that clock say 6 o'clock?
Call the meeting in order at 5 o'clock. Roll call.
White,
Here.
Anderson,
Here.
Paulheisel,
Here.
Glassy,
Here.
Lawson,
Here. Pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Public input.
I would like to take this opportunity to update the city council on the library's board effort to reach out to the community employers in an effort to capture additional monies for the library budget. We found a very favorable response from New Range Copper with our marketing presentation. The library board has been asked to follow up with proposed program costs, which John Fitzpatrick and I will quickly put together to show the library direction in programming and positive energy in servicing the Babbitt and Barris communities. Also, I'm pleased to announce, as of today, I've received a very positive response from Cleveland Cliffs regarding our program development needs. Again, the library board looks forward to quickly responding to provide the necessary information to Cleveland Cliffs to establish another donor relationship. The library board is working hard to reach out to the business sector, and we thank the city council for their patience.
More public input? More public input? Okay, we'll move on to item number 5, additions and deletions. Seeing none. Seeing none. Moving on to item number 6, consent agenda.
Approve the minutes of the special meeting. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Approve the meeting of the special, minutes of the special meeting of October 17th, 2023. The regular meeting of October 17th, 2023. The study session of October 26th, 2023. The special meeting of October 30th, 2023. Approval of all bills and payrolls as audited by the audit committee. Overtime report. D, correspondence.
Make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion by White, second by Anderson to approve consent agenda. Roll call?
White,
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Hoheisel.
Yes.
Lassie.
Yes.
Lossing.
Yes. Overtime report, or excuse me, jury report.
Nothing to report here.
Unfinished business, adopt resolution number 2023-06, resolution in support of the Race Lake Road Corridor project.
Make a motion to put on the process.
Motion by Hoheisel, second by Lassie to adopt resolution number 2023-06, resolution in support of the Rice Lake Road Corridor project. All in favor?
Aye.
Oh. Excuse me. Roll
White,
call.
White,
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Hoheisel.
Yes.
Lassie.
Yes.
Lossing.
Yes. Committee reports. A, campground reservations during closed seasons at 4 and 5.
All right, we were approached, before the campground closed, that there was, campsites 4 and 5 were gonna be rented out for another week by a drilling outfit, and they were just staying there overnight, using the outdoor facilities only, and have no sewer, no water, just electricity, and they'd be out in a week. Well, it turned into 2 weeks, and now they want it for another week, or 3 weeks. Jim and myself don't have the authorization to go ahead and allow that, so, and, we're charging them $300 a week, but they don't have none of the resources, no water, no sewer, so we were thinking about kicking it back to $100 or $150 per week for staying out there. Tony, there hasn't been a problem with anybody out there?
There is no problem, and in fact, there's several nights that they're not there. But when these guys are here and they're working a 12-hour rotating shift, they stay there. All they do is pull in and sleep and leave again.
they leave.
However, I guess, my opinion would be that we leave the rate the same, based on, I believe that they're using electrical heat supplement. So I think we'd have a cost of electricity there.
Alrighty.
Do you have a recommendation, Tony, as far as?
I'd say go for it. I certainly don't see any issue with it. They understand what they're getting. The only other side of this is that we would like to close the gate for the season, but it's been good, so I don't see any issue at this time.
I see as long as there's no snow on the road that we have to plow in there or anything to get them in and out. I say until there's, substantial snow, if they would like to stay, I think it would be a positive thing.
Yeah, that's what I was concerned with, Tony. It doesn't seem that there will be a weather factor involved, so.
Not in the foreseeable forecast. It is definitely something we do not want to plow. So we're not interested in doing that, but until that comes to,
Could we possibly approve this and then have staff tell them as soon as we get, they're here for another week or two, but if we get anything more than 3 inches of snow, they have to pack up and move.
What if they decide to plow it themselves?
No,
No, absolutely not.
Just asking a question.
With that, it's the recommendation from the committee to go ahead and allow them to stay. Campground committee. Yes,
I'll second that, the rate of 300.
$300 a week.
Heisel, second by Anderson, to allow the tenants to stay until other services are required, I guess, and on the direction of the campground committee. Any other discussion? Roll call.
White,
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Hoheisel.
Yes.
Lassie,
Yes.
Lossing.
Nine B, steering committee recommendation to approve quote from Iron Range Plumbing to perform heat pump inspections. I make the motion that we approve that. It came in quite a bit lower than some of the other estimates. And, we will go around and tell us if there's hoses and whatever things are coming down the pipeline, they're gonna inspect them. We had that on our long-term goal. We had estimates, which you guys received in your packets probably a couple months ago when we were doing all that for the steering committees. And these guys came in a little late. This is the company that put in the number 18 heat pump for us and saved us a lot of money. So actually, money they saved us on that heat pump will easily pay for this service that will hopefully save us some money in the long run in establishing a real type of service system. That's a motion.
I'll second it.
Motion by Lossing, second by White. Discussion?
I'm not sure, Mitch, are we allowed to take that quote since all the other ones were turned in 3 months ago? Now they just turned theirs in. Can we actually take that quote?
Yeah, this is, for a quote like this is not a formal competitive bidding procedure.
Okay.
Basically, when you get quotations for services, it's encouraged that you should try to get 2 to 3 separate quotes. But there's no specific timeline or any sort of a formal process on it. And it sounds like you have received them. So you're fine.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
White,
Yes.
Anderson.
yes.
Hoheisel.
Yes.
Lassie,
Yes.
Lossing.
Yes. 9C, planning commission recommendation to approve conditional use permit at 2919 Highway 21.
This is an additional storage unit that's gonna go up there. As you drive by that place on the highway, you'll see that there's 3 units there now. He's gonna put another one that will be on the northwest side of his existing structures. He's a 40-acre tract, and there's more than enough room, so the planning commission has recommended approval of this conditional use permit. I will make that motion.
I'll second that.
Motion by Lassie, second by Hoheisel, to approve conditional use permit at 2919 Highway 21. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
9D, Public Safety Committee recommendation regarding white termination from ambulance department.
With regrets, the Public Safety Committee met, went over the criteria. Unfortunately, hasn't met with the criteria, so we'll have to give him a letter of resignation.
Say that again, Glenn?
That would be Darian White. There's like 3 whites.
No, I know.
Just clarify.
What about letter of resignation?
They have the letter.
You mean termination?
Termination.
Okay, thank you.
And I'll make that motion that we move that letter forward.
Second. Motion by Anderson, second by Hoheisel. To take the recommendation from the safety committee, sending a termination letter. All in favor? Aye. Moving on to item 10, new business.
I got, Mayor, I got one more thing, other committees.
Okay.
The ATV club and the city of Abington has been notified, which me and Sarah worked on, and the ATV club. We were notified yesterday, and all the paperwork was signed and everything, finally have it in front of us. We were awarded a $75,000 grant for the ATV club, up to $102,000. The ATV club has to match $27,000, but the grant itself is for $75,000. So, and that was for that skid steer that we had talked about a long time ago, we've been waiting for it, and we have the paperwork and the authorization to go forward. So I just wanted to update everybody on that. So, kudos. Thank you.
Okay, 10A, campground progress review.
So I had asked to bring this up, I had some questions, some concerns. The profit margin after some of the issues that occurred this year, which won't occur again next year, and they didn't really make much of a profit. I do encourage the council to relook at prices for the campgrounds. We are the only campground other than Duluth, that has full service, meaning 50 amp service, 30 amp service, sewer, water, everything. And anywhere else on the planet you go to, you're paying $90 a night. We shouldn't have discounts for a week or a month. It should just be one straight cost, $90 a day unless you're seasonal. That's just something that I would like the council to think on. The other issue and concern I have is this year, the hosting reps kind of had a free pass to make purchases without approval. I think going forward, we need to have some sort of limit set to where I'm okay with the campground committee approving any expenditures that they might want for the campground. They should not have the right to purchase anything without approval. There always has to be accountability, and I think we need to make sure that's in place for next year, and we should also assess what restrictions will be on dollar amount for the committee, what they can approve. I would like to see something more formal written on that. I appreciate Jim showing me, he has a report here on some of the, where the profit is. It was looking like we were gonna be in the hole or not. So I was happy to see that, but I care about the campground. I think it's good for the community, and I want to make sure that we are making the right decisions and that this is a success. The profit margin should be way higher than $5,000 a year at the end of the year. That's barely scraping by if we're having issues. So I think with some tweaking, you could probably do a little bit better next year. Those are my concerns.
We had a lot of expense this year, just opening it up, and Jim and myself we will get together and we'll go over the issues that you have concerns with. And, but we did raise the rates here, what was that, 2 months ago?
Yeah.
Did address that, so we are charging more, so that will reflect in next year. And I do agree that the Schenker should have to come to the campground committee in order to buy almost anything. You know, they should have a list and should go through us and approve it and then go ahead with that. So I don't have a problem with any of it.
Won't that delay the purchase of things though? Because,
The only thing they buy is shirts, candy bars.
right, but you would have to have a meeting and then wait for the council meeting to make a recommendation to
Not with the campground committee. If it's a big purchase, yes, it goes in front of this council. But the campground committee, Jim and myself can meet at any time.
You have the sole authority to okay expenditures without bringing it to the council.
Yeah, probably.
Well, then you wouldn't be a committee.
$2,000 or less.
Then you would be a commission, would you not?
No, we're just a committee.
But a committee only has the authority to recommend. Am I right or wrong on this, Mitch?
The more standard procedure would be for expenditures, what you would do is, so basically whoever you have managing the campground, you would give them discretionary spending authority up to a certain amount, it's typically up to $500 or $1,000. And then anything above that would have to be approved by the city council. The committee doesn't have any authority to approve, you can't just say, it has to be by the city council.
But there are things that he would need, leeway to go ahead immediately, when we're looking at repairs, fix things right on the spot. We can't delay things for a week or so to come to the council.
No, and that's where it comes up to, it depends on the actual formal action taken by the council. I mean, the way, it really depends on how you word that. So you might say that manager has discretionary spending authority up to $1,000, but in an emergency situation, that if it's truly an emergency that has to be done, within 72 hours, and don't have time to convene a meeting with some council, you could carve some language into that can further.
Okay, before you, Tony, Terry, I appreciate your input. Raise your hand, just so.
I did, but I
Oh,
got
I didn't
tired.
see, I'm sorry. But I mean, so then we can get everybody to be on the same.
No,
page.
it wasn't here for a long
I appreciate
time.
the input. Tony, go ahead. That's all, I'm sorry, Terry.
Immediate repairs and maintenance and things like that kind of already runs through either me or the PUC. Whereas that would be something that you're authorizing a regular city employee to be able to do. The other expenditures of the campground, I agree, there's probably something else that you should do there. I don't want to take that on, but when they have an issue on the ground of something that needs repair, I'm their first contact anyway. So authorizing them for emergency repair often goes through me or the PUC anyway.
And all I'm asking for is some sort of, I'm not putting stipulations on it, I want oversight on what goes on, and that's all. But I think Paul is about that, so.
But Joe, just, all the other department heads have a $2,000 limit.
Yeah.
So I don't see a way with a $2,000 limit on that. There was this emergency. So,
Terry.
something we can talk about.
Counselor White, you don't find $90 a night a little bit too high for the average mom and pop to want to take their kids out for a
First
few
of all,
nights?
there's no average mom and pop that's driving the 50.
In your opinion?
No, okay, well, if you can't afford $90 a night for a fifth wheel, then you probably don't have one.
Well, how
And
about
I
if you're
camp
in a
all-
tent?
I camp all over the United States, every year, that's what I do for fun and recreation.
I have two, Joe.
If I could find a campground that pays $54 a night for what we have, you gotta look at what we offer. There's a beautiful pristine lake right there.
I know what we're offering. I was on the
campsites
council
you're
that,
talking about are
I was on the
abandoned
council that
parking
made the
lots.
campground. I know what we're offering.
Okay, then why?
I just think $90 a night is too much to expect in Babbitt.
It's not.
For-
The people that are
okay.
staying there aren't from Babbitt.
I guess we need to wait and hear from the rest of the council how they feel about it.
Oh, yeah, well, let the council have that discussion. Thank you.
No kidding, but I am a voting citizen and I have the right to question you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
We're gonna move on. That's good. All good. Any other campground progress review discussion? We didn't have a motion on the table or nothing, we just had discussion here.
No, I just wanted to,
No, good,
and
thank you.
thank you, Paul and Jim, for addressing that.
No, I agree. We have to, I think where it's all going here is really doing an apples for apples, what we have as far as, because we do have some really awesome, our hookups are a little on the high end and everything, and, it's worth looking at. It's worth looking at and seeing how we compare to other people with the exact same space of, amenities that we have.
then you would have to adjust the seasonal rates accordingly.
I think the whole picture needs to be looked at.
I mean, if you,
What we've done, Jerry, we did set our rates, and we set our rates so that they're very comparable to other campgrounds in the area. Now, if Councilor White thinks we're a little bit too low, and that's fine. But the time we have to do that is when we set our seasonal rates. And we already set them, and we're in the process of receiving reservations. So it's pretty much set in stone for this year.
I understand that, Counselor Lasky, but he made a blanket statement that other than Babbitt, all the other campgrounds in the area are at $90.
No, they're not.
What did you say then?
I said the other campgrounds don't provide sewer and full hookups for everything. You go to Hoodoo Point, you don't have sewer. You go to the Vermilion Trail, they don't have sewer, and most of them are only 30 amp breakers. They don't have a beautiful, pristine, huge landing to park at, trees everywhere. Most of the ones you go to are abandoned parking lots, cement platforms you park on. We have a beautiful campsite.
I'm
I'm
aware
not
of
saying
that.
change it this year. We already voted on what the rates are. I'm saying we need to be looking forward in the future that most campground rates that are as nice as ours, they charge well over $100 a night. I'm only saying we should up it to about 90, and that is affordable. Get a hotel for a family of 3, you're paying a couple $100 a night now. Those campgrounds it is worth the $90. So I'm not sure where you want to camp and at and all that, but.
Oh, now that's real, okay. I pretty much probably went camping in the area, any place you have, okay? And so if you're gonna make personal,
I'm not, I'm asking.
well, you
let
just
know.
said it.
Yeah, so I can know where to camp cheap too.
Okay, moving on.
What are you saying, Counselor White? Wait a minute, he said,
We're gonna move on right now, okay, let's.
oh, it's okay for him to say that,
Oh,
and
if you
I,
guys wanna have a discussion later, I think you should.
well, we'll have a discussion.
I actually have somewhere to go.
I'm glad he can say that and I can't
You can
retort.
talk to him later, Terry, we're not gonna get this resolved between you.
I know, but I'd like the public to hear what I have to say, not private conversations.
The paper will take
Thank you,
our-
Mayor.
Okay, 10B, appointment of Sheila Robbins to the Recreation Committee.
I have a question on that. Is she's still an employee, is she not?
Yes.
Can she serve on the committee as an employee? She's a teen center attendant, and therefore can she be her boss?
Mitch was
No,
out.
you- typically you wouldn't have an employee serve on the same department. Yeah. normally that would be the case. Yeah. So, I mean, if they're employed under the jurisdiction of that particular committee, then that would not be. It's an incompatible office.
That's what I thought.
Well, that answers that. Let's see. Thank you, Mitch. Approve administration contracts. Oh, I missed these, sorry. Administration request, I'm sorry. Administration request regarding vacation time during clerk treasurer absence.
I'm sorry, I sent you guys an email just to give you the full story, but with, during the week of Thanksgiving, there's most definitely, even if you hire someone tonight, not gonna be somebody in the office aside from me. I had reserved the time off, and I'm just asking that we potentially either close the doors Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Thanksgiving, or, that's what I'm asking, is that you give me the time off that I reserved my vacation for, and my supervisor approved at the beginning of the year. I still want that vacation if I can. I did look into our temporary help, and Kathy Hoheisel did say she would be willing to work that day. But would entitle her working with the public, and she is at her rate of pay. I talked to our other person at the time now, Debbie, she is not available that day to work on Wednesday. So just has to be considered to post it to the public and just have the office closed. Just have the issues.
I'll make a motion that we close the office on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Just have, what it is, Thanksgiving, just that Thanksgiving. 21, 22, and 23 that we shut down. Clerk's office.
I'll second that.
Motion by White, second by Hoheisel to close on 21, 22, 23 of December, November, sorry. Discussion?
You've been working really hard, Sarah, and
You will.
Somebody might have a baby.
Oh, she's coming out.
So that.
Thank you for all your effort.
Thank you.
Both of you guys. Really.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, I think during, with the circumstances, in the office, that this is the least we could do to, help Sarah out. I know she's been working her tail off as Kirsten, so I'm in favor of this.
Any other discussion?
just make sure you post it, that the public knows and they're aware of it, in case they want to come in and pay their bill or whatnot.
Is that a roll call? We got it. Roll call.
White,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Hoheisel.
Yes.
Lassie,
Yes.
Lossing.
Yes.
Thank you guys.
10B, approve administration contracts.
We held a meeting with the two employees and sat down and looked at their contracts. There was a few changes that we put in there that we couldn't agree with. But it was all, they're out of there. The new changes that are in here are strictly for 3-year contract with the salary that we have committed to the others departments. There's nothing in here other changes anything other than what they had with any other department. So I would make a motion that we authorize these 2 contracts, one with Sarah Ball and one with Kristen Trump, and go ahead and have proper signatures.
Second.
Motion by Anderson. Second by Hoheisel to approve administration contracts.
Who do we add for the second signature? It used to be
Yeah.
their treasurer. Well, if we have any, do we have time, they don't go into effect until January 2024, so. we can have that in there.
So we should.
Sarah's the deputy clerk treasurer, she's in charge, she should be able to, but she can't, then maybe Dwayne can sign,
Keep signing.
maybe another council member.
Oh, it'd be signed by the mayor and then, so, for Kirsten, who's the deputy clerk treasurer, would sign. But then for the deputy clerk treasurer, I mean, typically the clerk treasurer would sign.
If there's not a clerk treasurer in place by
We'll
December
figure
31st.
this out, I think the city attorney will sign it. Yeah, so if we don't have a clerk treasurer, I'll sign it, as a staff, essentially, an officer of the city.
Thanks, Rich.
Yeah.
So, motion by Anderson, second by Hoheisel to approve administration contracts. Any other discussion? Roll call.
I mean, maybe just a point of order on that, Mayor, why don't we make sure we include in the minutes that, for Kirsten's contract will be signed by the mayor and the deputy clerk treasurer, and then for Sarah's, it would be in the absence of a clerk treasurer that the city attorney's authorized to sign, along with the mayor. So maybe we just have that word.
So, yeah, that. You with that?
Yes.
Sorry about that, Mayor.
Roll call.
White,
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Hoheisel.
Yes.
Lassie,
Yes.
Lossing.
Yes. Moving on to item 10E. Schedule administrator clerk treasurer interviews. So, we had an official meeting, it was a, special meeting. And we were going to, I'm gonna take some time right now. We were going to, pick out of, so we extended the job search for 30 days. And in that 30 days, we gained, I do believe, 12 more applicants. Huh?
No, no, the Bill Atkinson seconds, and then we're
Rookie. We gained 12 applicants, of which, we had another, study session, we had a point system that everybody agreed to. And, I guess most everybody decided the point system did not work. I used the point system. I used the point system from the city of Aurora, and then I compared all of the applicants to the job description. In my opinion, we had 4 people that met the preferred qualifications of this job. Some of them had master's degrees, had worked in, as city clerks, had worked in business for a long time. One was had a double master in accounting. But during that meeting, Joe and I wanted to at least interview at least 2 of those people. We got outvoted, and we hired another applicant that has worked as a clerk treasurer for 20 hours a week for the last 9 months, or 10 months. So, just so the city knows, I do not support this decision. And I'm going to read, right now, I'm gonna take this time, my time. I'm gonna read a couple of letters on these applicants that we passed up on.
Excuse me, Mitch.
Here's prerogative.
Okay.
Please accept this letter as a formal application for the recently advertised position with the city of Babbitt. Innovation, excellence, and lifelong learning are values that I uphold for myself and my professional career. The skills that I have developed over the years while working within the city of Gilbert as clerk treasurer, St. Louis County, Minnesota Power, and as a planner scheduler, coupled with my education, support my interest in a career within leadership and administrative. My past responsibilities range from being responsible for all financial, project management, planning, and scheduling activities, from working for a municipality to scheduling utility crews, to being the labor monitor for the federal funded projects and providing clients with assistance in community and economic development. In addition to my extensive career within customer service, my duties as a planner have broadened my abilities to include the facilitation of planning meetings, presentations of job process, the coordination between departments to lay out a working schedule most efficiently to effectively use resources and equipment. Most recently, I have been painstakingly working on moving the city of Gilbert to a municipality that operates within policy and procedure and its city charter. I love working with our community, businesses to ensure they are successful and being a resource of funding and options, connection, and technical support. My goal in all of these positions I have held is to provide safe and respectful environment for all employees. I am known to be able to establish and maintain effective working relationships across an organization. In addition, I strive to learn everything I can and be the best possible employee. I hold the same philosophy to each position. Be the best you can be, set examples for others, enjoy what you're doing. I'm a hardworking, efficient, easily adaptable, friendly employee. I always take pride in my work, and I try to be a mentor to my family and friends and coworkers. I believe this shows my character as an individual and as an employee. I can create and support a positive, inclusive work environment. I have been successful because I am a dedicated professional with a strong work ethic. While I am a team player who can readily establish good rapport with all employees at all levels and organization, I am also known for being creative and out-of-the-box thinker. I have experience in improving morale, building trust, respect in the workforce. I'm organized, detail-oriented, and always looking for ways to do things better and more efficiently while being good steward of resources. I would be truly honored to be considered for this position you'd like to contact me, I look forward to hearing from you and taking the time for your consideration. I won't have the names of that, that's probably, I should probably do that. Here's another one. These are both the ones that Joe and I at least wanted to at least interview these two as well. I wanted to interview more. There was, like I said, there was, under our job description, there was 5 people that met our preferred qualifications. On paper, the person that we're hiring may largely meet the minimum qualifications. It all depends how long she was, marginally. I'm writing, this is another one. I'm writing to apply for the position of city clerk treasurer for the city of Abbott. I have extensive experience in grant writing, public relations, business development, and data security in several different roles, as well as financial, budgetary, and supervisory experience as leader in the nonprofit sector. As the president and CEO of the Laurentian Chamber of Commerce, I oversaw all activities of the chamber. This included budgeting, office management, government relations, lobbying, business development, funding, as well as event management and the development of strategic plan for revenue growth. In my 18-month tenure, the chamber increased both its membership and its annual revenue and hosted the statewide Minnesota Chamber of Commerce Executive Conference at the Grand Union Lodge. I currently work as a fundraising coordinator at Life Care Medical Center in Roseville, Minnesota. In this position, I oversee all fundraising, grant writing, reporting, and grant dispersal to the community. In 2 years, we have increased net revenue from fundraising by more than 200% and grant revenue by 250%. This year, we're on track to give grants totaling more than $225,000 to the community and an increased $60,000 over the previous annual high. In addition to grants from the Minnesota Department of Health, we have secured grants from Northeast Minnesota Foundations, Olive Bremer Foundation, Hemsley Charitable Trust, and Roseville Area Foundation. I've not worked in municipality government directly, but I do have experience working for a session of the Minnesota State Legislature as legislative assistant and extensive cooperative work with both political officials, economic development authorities in both Minnesota and North Dakota. This cooperation includes my time at the IDEA Center and United Tribes Technical College in Bismarck with Laurentian Chamber of Commerce on the Iron Range with both the Roseville and Warlord Economic Development Authorities. I am very comfortable working with a wide variety of computer programs. I have experienced both working with Microsoft software and teaching a college course on Microsoft Excel and adjusted instructor. I have used both desktop and online versions of QuickBooks as well as a variety of database management software to track, manage, and donation history. My family, and the rest of it is personal. My point being is, we passed up the opportunity to at least interview people. Whoever came before us set guidelines to do this hiring. We choose to just ignore them completely. I will make a promise that I'm going to stay in this position long enough that we're going to change that. I will guarantee you right now that will change. Thank you.
And seeing as that is your opinion on the whole deal, Mr. Mayor, when you talk about the people that were in this interview and stuff, I want to interview that I had made a motion, and I'll make it a motion now because I found out that was a study session. So I will make a motion that Rebecca Geiger be hired at 90% on the salary at this time, and we looked at within 3 to 6 months. So that is a motion.
I'll second.
And the reason that I look at this, and I discussed it at our other one, you can look at all the applicants that we have. I don't care if you got a bachelor's degree or not. You know, that's fine, that's great. We need somebody who actually can do the job. Out of all the applicants that we had, we only had 3 that actually had experience as a clerk in that position. And this one here is one that is already in clerk school, already has done her first part of the deal, is going again, north, finish up everything. She's already written 3 grants for the city that she was working for. We were looking for somebody that's a grant writer. Here you got an individual that has done that. They've been awarded 3 grants in that town because of her work, not because of anybody else. And that was one of the reasons that I looked at. When we're looking, we decided a month and a half ago to put it back out and look for better people. And if we couldn't find anybody, this was our number 1 pick. Well, when you look at the other ones,
It wasn't
This
our
is
number
a-
1 pick. Don't include all of us. It wasn't, I didn't have a
it was a
pick out there.
majority,
It wasn't a pick.
majority pick, okay? It was a majority. You might not have, that's fine. So,
All I wanna say is, I'm in agreement with the mayor on this. I think that the 2 applicants he read should be interviewed. The last applicant that he read has a master's degree. The guy is well connected with the state, meets all the criteria, is way more qualified than Ms. Jagger is. You read his resume, and Ms. Jagger came from PetSmart. I'm not saying that she's not competent, but you look at his record and resume, and you look at where she's coming from. We at least should be interviewing those 2, in my opinion.
The applicant that they're going to choose tonight has been a clerk treasurer for a town of 150 people since the first of the years, working part-time 20 hours a week. So if you want to call that an abundance of experience, I guess you can. I do not call that an abundance of experience. Now, and the job before that was from 2003 to 2007 at PetSmart. There's no job history between 2007 and 2021. Let's all understand that now. And that's who these guys are gonna hire tonight. Nothing against her. She did a very good job in her interview. She was very personable, you know, I think she's a great person. I know her personally. She's been at family functions that I've been at. So I have nothing against her as a person. But my goal here is to do the best for the community. And that's not what's gonna happen. Terry?
Yeah,
Go
Dwayne.
ahead, Terry.
I don't mean to be disrespectful in the least, but I would like to remind you, when the steering committee issue came up, I stood up and argued the same way you did about how you guys voted against past practice by putting a committee member on without doing applications. Do you remember that? I do. And now you're using the same argument that I did. When Les Parsons was put on the steering committee, I stood up at a council meeting and stated that the past practice had been that we take applications for committee positions. You and Jim Lassie and Joe White decided to go against past practice and go ahead and just vote them on the committee. I just want to remind you that I took the same stance you did then, but I was wrong.
So you're comparing a committee that has no power to make any change without the council.
It's the principle of the thing,
hiring
Counselor
somebody
White.
that runs all our financing and budget.
I'm not gonna argue with you, Joe.
It's probably good.
So,
and,
We need to stop
Mayor,
it.
Mayor, if you're going to make reference to the individual that worked at Parks and Rec, that's smart. As long as you're gonna, go through her thing. You forgot to say, she also works for Great
Great Scott Township, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
well, yeah, you
She's been a
forgot that.
treasurer at Great Scott Township since
So she's done
2021.
2 positions.
Yeah. And that's a part-time, that's a part-time position as well.
But it is,
But you're right, she's a treasurer, I did leave that out, treasurer at Great Scott Township.
thank you. Call the question.
Motion by Anderson. Second by Hoheisel. The motion was,
To hire Rebecca Jagger at 90% of the salary and revaluation
Okay.
of 3 and 6 months.
I do have a little bit more discussion. We talked to Mitch earlier on this.
I asked,
Can we still have discussion on this, Mitch?
I think they call the questions.
I called the question.
You've called the questions, so it doesn't need to be voted on.
90%. Motion by Anderson, second by Hoheisel. There, Rebecca Jagger, 90% of the wage.
Did we review that, I think, 3 months and 6 months?
We follow proper guidelines that we have on evaluations. Roll call.
White,
No.
Anderson.
Yes.
Hoheisel.
Yes.
Lassie,
Yes.
Lossing,
No. Letter F. Joe Atkinson Recycle Center workshop. So, everybody read this, rural living. I guess there's no signature on who this was sent by, but somebody here, I think.
Nancy Orr.
Huh?
Nancy Orr.
Nancy sent us a letter asking that they change the hours, that they work, not the hours of the service, but that they work instead of an hour at the beginning and end of the day to a half hour, which would mean 1 hour that they work a day with the changing in temperatures and stuff, so they didn't have to sit in the car as long and stuff. So they wanna change it down from an hour to a half hour at both ends, at the beginning, at the end of the day. And, they said it's a lot busier in the summer than it is in the winter, and this would save a lot of money on running the car that extra hour a day.
I move we honor the request.
I'll second it.
Motion by Lassie, second by White, to honor the request from Rural Living to, reduce their hours by half. Roll call.
White,
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Hoheisel.
Yes.
Lassie,
Yes.
Lossing,
Yes. Retirement benefits.
I asked this to come on again. I had, me, I always have lots of questions. I want to make sure at the end of my first year, I know what's going on. So the question came into play was in regards to Kathy Robb. I'm curious as to why we are still paying her money towards benefits when she was done as of September 15th. I believe the council only recommended to accept her resignation. And I'm unaware that you're able to retire at 2 years, so I'm just curious why or how that works, that the city would still be paying her money.
What money's council?
Sarah?
Supplementing the premium on insurance. And the contract clearly states that any retirees that retire and decide to keep the insurance through the city are responsible for their own premium.
That's correct.
That's correct.
But we're paying it, that's what I'm asking.
You're not paying her premium.
In a sense. The
Kristen, go ahead.
insurance adjuster informed me that if rates are being averaged between all employees, it has to be averaged between all people listed on the policy, and that includes retirees.
Always
So
has been.
if it's being averaged, the retirees have to be included.
But she's not a retiree. She quit. We retired people at 2 years working for the city? And then the council.
First of all, retirement normally means that you retire under a PPRA pension. So, I don't know if she retired or adult, she retired under a PPRA pension. So normally the retirement benefits for somebody who retires from city service, usually it's normally for somebody who retires after very lengthy city service and retires under a PPRA pension.
my understanding is that she did retire after a few years.
She did have time at the school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly what it is, but she was there.
Yeah, but then basically, if they're allowed to continue under the city's group plan, then they are responsible for paying 100% of the group plan.
Unless it's averaged, which is what's happening, which is why the city is paying a portion of it, because
little louder, sir, we can't hear
So
you.
that's it, actually, so that's, I know, I talked to Kirsten about this, so I think you're getting into, so this is group health insurance, okay, so, every city's a little bit different depending on who your carrier is. Now, from what Kirsten described to me is that when you get your monthly invoice for your health insurance, even though it's group health insurance, that for some reason your carrier charges a premium per employee, and again, it's whether it's single coverage or family coverage, but just let's use family coverage. So if the employee has family coverage under the city's group plan, for some reason, your carrier, when they invoice that on a monthly basis, they break down the premium amount per individual employee or retiree who is under the city's group plan. I would say that seems to me quite unusual, but because it's not individual health insurance, it's group health insurance. So in fact, I just had this discussion at another public employer that I represent, because this was a very unusual question that I was posed to me. And they said that what they do is when they get their invoice for their group, they get basically a single amount that's billed to them, per month. It's not broken down by each of the individual participants under the group. So the nature of group health insurance is you add on it, and that's group health insurance. And that is my understanding. That has been the practice of how it's been done here in the city for many, many years. I don't know how long that practice goes back, but that is the nature of group health insurance. Is basically you get an invoice. Yeah, maybe in the invoicing it is broken down by individual participant in the group plan, but in the end you take the total and then you basically average it out, and that's the nature of group health insurance. And that has been the way that's been administered across the bargaining units for many, many years. So the way that's administered, the way that language is administered, that becomes essentially very much like contract language in them. So because of past practice. So I know it says by paying the full regular monthly premium, but again, that's the premium that's calculated by the average, not the premium that's broken out on, however it's broken out on the invoice.
Well, why are we liable for any of it?
That's what I'm wondering, if you work somewhere else for most of it.
Well, it depends on her contract. So if there is under your union contract, so I was just looking at, this is the 320 contract, of course, this is not the one that covers the clerk treasurer, but so if you were under the 320 contract, and you retire, which again, normally retirement means that you retire under some sort of a PERA pension, that you can continue to have insurance under the city's group plan, but you have to pay the full amount of the regular monthly premium, however that's averaged, right? Now that's the 320 contract, but on clerk treasurer contract, I'm looking at, I believe this would be Kathy's contract. It sounds like there is maybe some language in here that talks about it. Is there specific language in the contract that's identical to 320?
It says we receive the state benefits as 320. Or that's what her contract says, as far as health insurance.
Which, okay, but that might not necessarily mean health insurance. So that might not mean retiree health insurance. So where is that?
It's on page 21 of that package, and it's any employee who needs to service in good standing may continue coverage under the city's group insurance plan for a period not to exceed federal or state.
Yeah, that's COBRA, that's different. That's different. So that's what we call COBRA extension. So if somebody leaves under a COBRA eligible separation, what that typically means is that they can continue under the city's group plan for 18 months. That's pretty standard. And under COBRA, they can continue to have group coverage upon separation from employment for 18 months Under Cobra, again, they are responsible for paying 100% of the premium as averaged. But that's not,
That's not.
that is, on that page 21, that is not, that's not retiree health insurance. So, I mean, clearly, if it was a Cobra eligible event, if she left in good standing, she could argue to continue the coverage for each of those.
At our expense or?
Oh, it's her expense.
At her expense.
Right.
So she would have to reimburse us, we would pay the premium, and she would reimburse us?
Yeah, normally what happens is if they're gonna continue under a Cobra extension under group health insurance, the usual arrangement is they have to come in usually like a week prior, at least a week prior to when the city will be submitting the payment and the invoice, and they have to provide a check to the city for the amount of their, to continue their group insurance coverage.
I don't have any problem with her continuing the coverage, but like Joe brought up, I don't think we should be paying her.
Yeah, it sounds like there's kind of it sounds like the interpretation is because, okay, so I understand what you're saying, what the staff are saying is that on the invoicing, she's broken out as an individual and there's a specific monthly premium amount that's assigned to her, right?
Right.
And what they're saying is that, let me just say if that says on the invoice, it says that the invoice or the premium attributed to her, is she getting single or family?
Single.
Okay, so she's getting single coverage, so let's just say that the amount that's charged to the city for her single coverage is $500, right? But when you actually do the averaging, it's apparently more than that, or I don't know. So you're basically, what you're saying is that the city is paying more than what's designated as her individual allotment.
So how it breaks down is her individual premium for just herself is higher, but with the averaging of all single coverage.
Yeah. So that's where they're saying that the city is subsidizing it, but that's not correct.
The city employees, the other employees.
Yeah, the other employees are subsidized.
But that's group health insurance. So
No,
that's
not for that one, because the single coverage is fully covered by the cap in the contracts by the city.
no, the cap doesn't apply because she's not a current employee. So,
Yeah, but
yeah.
it's being averaged and then the cap taken.
There's no cap with that. It's 100% of the average premium that is being paid.
So everything is okay, then. That's all I'm asking.
Okay, so what you do is you basically, well, it depends on whether it's single or family, right? But essentially what you do is you total it up and you divide it by how many individual participants are participating in the insurance, and that's the premium that's assigned to that individual. And it's gonna be uniform across the board because you're gonna take the total and you're gonna divide it by that number. Whatever that number is, she has to pay 100% of that. Yeah. Does that make sense? And that's been the long-standing past practice going back
30 years and before.
So she's doing that then?
Okay, yeah.
Well, thank you for answering the question.
Yeah.
I'm trying to understand this stuff, so thank you.
Just to clarify, Mitch, so you have a better understanding, and for all the counselors except for Joe, he hasn't lived here long enough to know the name I'm gonna name. But when I started for the city in 1981, and you were already here, Judy Raines was already retired on retirement insurance. Orville Raines, her husband, was already on the city insurance. So precedence has gone a long ways back that retirees, they're totally responsible for their own premium, but they're averaged out as part of the group.
So I hope that clarifies it.
Well, you answered my question.
Okay, all right.
And most of the retirees just stay on the city plan until they hit Medicare.
So in that,
It just was confusing because she stated she only worked for 2 years, so I wasn't aware of
She was
that.
in public
Other-
employment.
Yeah, so that's why I was trying to like, how are you paid? So
Is it
thank you.
TRA and PGRA transferable?
Combined service.
Yeah, it's a public pension, so I think if she retired under some sort of a public pension, I think that would be a legitimate retirement. Under that.
moving on. 10H, approve ambulance department purchase of 6 pagers totaling $2,340, includes 2-year warranty.
Make a motion that we go ahead and approve the expenditure.
I'll second that.
Motion by White, second by Anderson, to approve ambulance department purchase of 6 pagers totaling $2,340. Discussion?
I just want to say, as a pager holder myself, you have to listen to your radio to turn it on FE2 just to hear what the heck the page is coming across. And as an ambulance EMT provider, it's imperative that I understand what is going on at the scene as I'm racing to go to the hall to go help somebody in the community that's in need. So these are much needed.
Any other discussion? Roll call?
White,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Hoheisel.
Yes.
Lassie,
Yes.
Austin.
Yes. Letter I, 10I, library board benefit question.
That's me. I have a question on when those insurance benefits kick in for an employee of the city.
Such as what?
Insurance, group insurance,
How many hours
Whether
a week?
they're part-timer or
Full-time.
full-time?
full-time,
Contract,
not stated in the contract.
so it's no benefits under 30 hours, but then there's a letter of understanding addressing the sick and the vacation.
Prorated.
Yep. So your health insurance is nothing under, if you work under 30 hours, you don't get health insurance.
If you work over 30 hours, you get health insurance.
That would have to be agreed.
It would probably be this.
Well,
Tony
The
Murdock
rec
got it.
assistant,
No, he,
no, that position's not eligible.
no.
That's a 32-hour a week position, the rec assistant. They're not eligible for health benefits.
No, they are actually under the Affordable Care Act. So the Affordable Care Act, if the employee works an average of 30 hours a week or more, then the employer is obligated to provide affordable health insurance.
So that letter of understanding just says.
Yeah, the statute supersedes contracts, so the federal law, under the Affordable Care Act, is if you are an employee who works, again, 30 hours or more, on average, on a regular basis, then whoever the employer is, in this case, is obligated to provide affordable health insurance. Now, if they're not working at full-time equivalent, you are allowed to prorate premium, as far as how much they pay, towards their premium, that really is up to the city council. But typically, you prorate it based upon full-time equivalent.
So do they provide the money? Affordable care, so it's our
It's your
responsibility.
responsibility, it's federal law. I could just look this question up today.
Okay, so the limit is 30 hours.
Threshold is 30 hours.
Okay.
But again, it's not, you just work 30 hours like one, it's gotta be pretty, it's gotta be on a regular basis.
Full-time employee. Up to the
Under the Affordable Care Act, they basically define it as 30 hours.
That's not full-time employee, it's just 30 hours for that purpose.
Normally, a full-time equivalent in this city, I'm assuming, would be 40.
Right.
Yeah. So the city council would have discretion to prorate the amount of premium, so they might say, they're working 30, that's a 0.75 FTE, and they might only pay, therefore, 75% of what the city would normally pay for the premium towards the full-time employee. But that would be, again, up to, for a non-union employee, it's really up to the city council, it's your discretion to decide what that would look like.
When it's a union employee,
Is that,
that's it, this is a union employee,
okay,
and there's nothing in the contract about,
yeah, then that arguably would be something that would have to be negotiated.
okay,
Is it the term of condition of employment? So there would be an obligation to negotiate with the exclusive representative on what that would look like.
okay. One more thing, when you did the budget, you violated the state statute. when you took the $6,000 from the library.
We gave that back.
You took it from this year. We don't have the money this year. And the money was in the Babbitt Library fund for this year. And you put it in the fund for next year. And that violates statute 134.11. Just for your information.
Kathy?
There was no violation, John, because the money was never taken out of anything. It was just that the council's apportionment was reduced by that amount. That amount of money that was in there was never touched. It's still there.
It's not that, Kathy. It's reduced.
It was never taken out. The apportionment was reduced. There's no violation on that.
Yet they used it to get to the 170.
They could have given you 85,000, what the state said that was
Right.
least that they could do. So they did not take the money. It's still sitting in Fund 211. But what the council voted was to reduce the apportionment because of that balance in there. They did not take it.
Okay.
I don't know, Mitch, if you want to respond to that?
Yeah, I will admit I'm not familiar with the nuances
Okay.
of that statute, so you're more of a budgeting expert than I am.
Only 30 years worth.
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, I do have a question for the library, if you do not mind.
No, I just, Les, did you have something he had on this? Les, did you have a comment?
Did you ask me about it, comment?
Well, you had your arm up.
Yeah, I did. Need to reverse the conversation just a couple, just an addition. If you work 2 jobs, 15 hours, different locations or whatever, different employees. 15 hours each, you reach the 30 hours. That's all I can say.
It was, yeah, it's still for the same employer, so arguably, if that's done on a regular basis, then
Yeah.
it arguably could cost that $30.
Yeah, be qualified, yeah. It doesn't have, 30 hours doesn't have to be full life.
Yeah, this is for the library director, Lisa. I got the minutes for your last meeting from, not just yesterday, but a month ago. And I was just kind of asking or requesting for the minutes from last night, and you don't provide them. And I was wondering why.
All the minutes are brought to City Hall. They were yesterday.
Those minutes aren't done yet.
They're not approved. But
Last
we
night's
still post the minutes of our meeting, and they're not approved until the next meeting. So you could possibly get the minutes here, so we know what's going on in your department.
The last set of minutes I sent was October 11th.
Right.
So
And we're in November.
November's meeting, the
Still won't
minutes,
get that until
you won't get
December.
that to the following month, because
Right.
the following month, the library board has to approve it.
No, they don't. You can put, these are the minutes upon approval. You can still forward us the minutes, so we know what you guys are talking about. And then whenever you guys vote, I noticed on there too, it says yeas and nays. There's no tally. It don't tell me who voted for what. It just says approved, and that's it. You gotta have yes and no's and abstains on there if it takes. You have to say yes and say Diane said yes, Les said yes, John said no. We need to see that.
I will let the board know.
Thank you.
Secretary. Okay, moving on. 10J, hire Norma Christine as part-time temporary office help.
A couple meetings ago, you guys had given us the opportunity to post for this job. I think that you would be good with Kristen's absence for times when maybe Debbie can't come. Just as a secondary backup. busy times when making so much progress.
Yes, that experience.
I'll make the motion to go ahead and hire Eleanor Cersine as a temporary office help.
I'll second that.
Not part-time, just temporary.
Motion by Hoheisel, second by White, to hire Norma Racine as a temporary office help. Discussion?
Do you want to add any verbiage in there, based on the hours, I feel like it's just gonna be based on when, and either, when you
I think
leave or.
that should be up to your discretion, and you don't know better than me.
No, please give discussion. You are assessing special.
And Mitch, do we fall underneath the so many hours?
Yeah, temporary would just be, less than 67 shifts.
Wages. Okay, no, if we have two. Wages. We have to watch 67.
Yeah, you do, it is cumulative, so if it's one position, you have separate people in one position, it's cumulative.
No, I don't. I just want to make sure that.
Should we have the wage included in that motion? What is the temporary,
He pays $15 an hour.
$15?
Yeah, I think it's standard, that's the rate.
Debbie is casual. Is this a casual or was this a part-time?
It's listed as part-time temporary, so do
I
you
think
want
that's
it casual, I think casual is more fitting word for it.
Yeah, casual is the wording of the statute. Yeah.
Okay.
But it just means temporary. Same, but that's how the statute is.
Should we change the motion?
But we still, don't fall under the 67.
Right.
My motion to use the word casual instead of temporary.
Joe?
I still second it.
When the managers start.
Shifts, 67 shifts?
Yep. Well, and a shift is considered 15 minutes.
Yeah, right.
So if they come in for, that's the thing you have to watch, because that's what we got into trouble a long time.
And you could have a person work 3 hours, they work 8 hours, whatever as needed is.
But it's considered a shift, no matter if they work 15 minutes.
Yes, good.
I just want to make sure.
Okay, roll call.
White.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Hoheisel.
Yes.
Lassie.
Yes.
Lossing.
Yes. And before we go any further, I'm gonna ask Mitch one question. Mitch, I believe you might have answered this before, but I'm not sure. If we hire somebody, since we have this point system, that there's a wage connected to these point systems, like our last treasurer clerk who worked here for 30 years, was making X amount of dollars in excess of 80,000 a year. If we hire somebody else that has a pittance of that experience, are we forced to pay them the same amount of money? I know that we're talking about the 10%, but is that not a negotiable figure?
It's really the discretion of council, so,
Yeah.
so the council, it's up to the council, sometimes the council is to offer a certain salary level, or sometimes a council would authorize, making an offer of employment and engage in negotiations over the salary. It's really council discretion, but the comp worth points wouldn't have anything to do with that. I mean, because basically you've got a position that has had a historic salary attributed to it, and the majority vote of the council is to offer the position at 90% of that established salary. So, yeah.
But my question just was, is that we would have the option to negotiate
Yes.
per experience.
Yep.
Yes.
That's another option.
That's
That sometimes happens too. Sometimes they'll say, we'll negotiate. with the
Wait, can I?
Yeah, Kathy.
So Mitch, let's say that this clerk treasurer, I'm sorry if I'm leaning over. Let's say that the council decided that they were gonna hire this person at 70,000, 90% of the 70,000. That position has the same amount of points as like the police chief and the street supervisor. Wait, just let me finish.
Yeah, okay.
What's gonna happen is when we send in our pay equity, they're gonna say, this woman has the same points as this man, but is making that much less. We're gonna be out of compliance.
No, you're not gonna be.
I could show you.
I understand you had one experience years ago, but it's not gonna put you out of compliance because this is a essentially you've offered 90% of the probationary.
This is fine what they did tonight, but if they reduced that rate, you would be out of compliance with pay equity and you'd be back paying.
There is an established salary for that clerk treasurer position in the
Correct.
city. I believe my interpretation of what happened tonight was since it's a person who's coming into the
correct.
position new, they'd offer that 90% of the salary.
Correct.
So
I'm just saying if it
6 months
was,
from now, they say that she has proven herself and they increase her to 100% of the established
Correct.
salary, and, you know, yeah.
I agree with that. I'm just saying if they lowball, you can't do that.
I disagree with that.
Okay, we can agree to disagree now.
Would be the first.
Yeah, I think that, again, I don't think when you get into negotiations over hiring somebody, whether you offer them a certain established salary or percentage of that, or if you go to the negotiating table and you negotiate a whole new salary structure depending upon
It
background and
happens.
experience, you know, I believe that in this labor market, I believe that it allows the public employer the discretion. to
We
do
had
that.
2 people that had fallen under that, and that was Wendy and Lisa.
Yeah.
So it has happened.
Next meeting, November 21st, 2023 at 5 p.m.
Move to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, second by Hobart, all in favor? Aye.
Maybe it was. We have to add like casual or. Because casual is 50.
I'm human,
Kind of was.
Not yet. If you look it up. Regular.